They laughed at his torn jacket, till a 4-star general walked in, pointed right at him, and the whole school went silent. What she revealed next shocked everyone. Watch till the end. If this story touches you, subscribe for more powerful, true hero stories. Every Friday, Malik walked into Jefferson High wearing the same old military jacket. The sleeves were worn, the zipper half broken, and the color had faded into a dull green. For most students, it was just a weird habit. But today, the jokes went too far. Someone yelled, "Hey Malik, did you time travel from World War II?" The cafeteria roared. Another tossed a piece of bread that hit his back. He didn't flinch. He never did. Malik was a quiet, struggling teen who had learned to keep his head down. But that jacket, he never took it off on Fridays. Not once. He'd sit alone, tracing the red and gold patch stitched to the shoulder. Most couldn't even see it clearly. But to Malik, it meant everything. Today was Veterans Day. The school was buzzing about the assembly. Flags everywhere. The band practicing off-key. Teachers looked tired already, but Malik, he looked calm, like he knew something they didn't. A student passed by, laughed, and said, "Bet that thing smells like mothballs and failure." Still no reaction. What no one knew was that the jacket once belonged to someone else, someone whose story hadn't been told yet. And that was about to change, because just as the crowd started filing into the gym, a sharp voice echoed through the hallway. "Who's wearing that recon patch?" Students turned. In walked a tall woman in full military uniform, covered in medals. Every eye followed her as she marched toward Malik. Boots hitting the floor like thunder. She stopped in front of him, eyes locked, voice steady. "Where did you get that jacket?" And, for the first time all day, the school went silent. Malik froze as the woman in uniform stared at him. Her presence commanded silence. Not even the teachers dared speak. The gold stars on her shoulders sparkled beneath the gym lights. Every step she took toward him echoed louder than the last. She stood tall. "Where did you get that jacket?" His lips trembled. "It belonged to my grandfather," he said softly. "Staff Sergeant Darnell H. Parker, Vietnam." The general blinked once. Her voice dropped, but it struck like thunder. "Parker," she repeated, eyes filled with something. Close to awe. "I know that name." The crowd leaned in. She turned toward the students and said, "That patch on his shoulder is from the Recon Lightning Unit, one of the most elite, higher-risk recon teams in Vietnam. Very few earned it." You could feel the shift. Phones were slowly lowered. The mockery dissolved into disbelief. The general continued, "His grandfather trained me. I was a private green, scared, unsure. He taught me how to stay focused when everything exploded around us. During the Battle of Dak II, he pulled me from a burning jeep. He carried me with a broken leg through gunfire and refused evacuation until everyone else was safe." Gasps rippled across the gym. "Your grandfather," she said, turning back to Malik, "saved my life." Silence, then whispers. "He was a true hero. And this jacket isn't old. It's sacred." A crowd didn't laugh anymore. They stared at Malik differently now, like they'd missed something that had always been right in front of them. The general straightened her posture. Her eyes didn't leave his. "You wear it every Friday?" she asked. Malik nodded. "Then wear it with pride." She raised her hand slowly to her brow and saluted him. The applause rolled like thunder across the gym. Veterans rose one by one. Teachers stood next. Then the entire student body followed. They weren't clapping for the general anymore. They were clapping for Malik, the same Malik they laughed at, the same struggling teen they ignored in the halls. But not anymore. He stood frozen, unsure what to do with so many eyes on him. His heart pounded against his ribs. His hands trembled. But something changed. He stood straighter. General Griggs leaned in and said softly, "You carry his memory well. Don't stop." Her words hit harder than any insult he'd ever endured. The next day, things felt different. The hallway was still crowded, but people moved aside as he walked. A few nodded in respect. One teacher simply said he'd be proud of you. Friday after Friday, Malik wore the jacket, but now no one mocked him. A few students even asked about the patch. One girl said her dad had served too. They talked for the first time. Malik wasn't invisible anymore. He became known as the boy with the jacket, but not in a mocking weather, like a reminder of something powerful. Something greater than fashion or popularity. The jacket became more than just old fabric. It became a living memory of a war hero, struggling teen who quietly carried the weight of a man who once saved lives in fire and smoke. And as Malik walked down those school halls every Friday, he didn't just wear that jacket. He wore honor. He wore pride. He wore the legacy of a man who never came home, but now, through Malik, had finally been seen. And finally, he was no longer alone. He never asked for respect, but now he wears it with every step. If this story moved you, hit that like button, share it forward, and subscribe for more true hero stories that remind us what real courage looks like.